In many circles, deer meat isn't considered a delicacy. But in this episode of Iowa Outdoors, Chef Jon Benedict shares a delicious recipe for venison stew, and we're confident that even those palates not partial to venison will find it very tasty.
Hi, I'm Chef Jon Benedict. In the kitchen, we're going to be cooking up some venison stew. I got some wonderful fresh venison here that I've cubed up into about 1-inch pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and season it with a little bit of pepper, garlic powder, a little oregano and thyme. Mix it with just a little bit of flour so it'll help thicken our stew in the end. And we're going to go ahead and mix all this up and get ready to sear it in our Dutch oven that we have on the stovetop. Our Dutch oven now is nice and hot on our stovetop. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple tablespoons of oil to sear off our venison that we have. You know, I like using this Dutch oven style for a couple reasons. One, it holds its temperature very well. And for the second reason, it's going to go right from the stovetop into the oven very easily. I'm going to go ahead and add all my venison meat that's been seasoned and has the flour with it. And I'm going to go ahead and brown it on all sides. While I'm browning it, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of tomato paste and about a tablespoon or two of chopped garlic. And I'm just going to stir all this up and sear this meat off on all sides. So we got all our venison meat here searing in our Dutch oven with our tomato paste and chopped garlic. And you might have noticed that some of the stuff will be sticking to the bottom of this Dutch oven, but that's okay, because now that our meat's all brown on all the edges, we're going to go ahead and add about a cup of red wine right to the pot, and it'll help loosen up all the stuff on the bottom of it. I'm just going to let it simmer for a couple minutes in order to loosen any of the flavorings that's been stuck to the bottom of the Dutch oven. Once that's kind of simmered and reduced a little bit, I'm going to add a mixture of chopped parsnips, onions, celery, and carrots, a couple bay leaves right on top. I'm going to add a couple cups of beef stock. And I'm going to add 1 can of a diced tomato. I'll incorporate all this, stir it all up so it's mixed up real nice. And I'll cover the lid up. And I'm going to put it right into my oven at 350 degrees for about an hour, hour and a half to cook. About 20 minutes before our venison stew was done, I went ahead and put in a batch of this jalapeno cornbread. It's an excellent side item to go with our venison stew. In this jalapeno cornbread, I put in some jalapenos, red peppers, and roasted corn. And it goes real well with this venison stew. Oh, this venison stew just smells excellent. And we're going to check to see how tender the meat is by just pulling up a piece and pushing it with our spoon along the edge of this Dutch oven here, and it should just fall right apart. And it does. This is an excellent venison stew to serve on a cold day. I'm Chef Jon Benedict. Thanks for coming to my kitchen to cook up some venison stew.